What's up, everybody? It's Glenn and Big Jack back with another best bets of the NFL weekend video. Last week we both went 2-1, improving our records on the season. Jack getting above 500, up to 11-10 on the year. Myself adding to my pretty good tally this year, moving myself up to 13-7-1 overall in the season. Big Jack, let's keep this positive momentum going. It's good to have you back, man.
Amen, brother. You're absolutely rolling. 13-7-1. That's a beautiful thing. It couldn't get much better. Just gotta keep riding the wave. And as far as I go, it's been a little bit of a battle here in the early going, but feels good to get above water for the first time. Still not quite at that 52% mark we need to get to be profitable, but feeling good about the way we're trending.
No doubt about it. And, we're going into week 8 here. And, NFL season used to be 17 weeks. Now it's 18 weeks, 17 games. So I guess week 9 is really the halfway point, but we're coming up on it. So to see us both in here fighting, battling, and improving on our records is a great thing to see. I'm going to be honest, Jack. I told you a little bit in the pre-show talk that we had. I don't love the board, man. I don't. I saw 3 easy winners, and when I just was thinking that, I'm like, fuck that. I can't pick these games. I need to go Oppo. So I did end up sticking with one of them that I think's an easy winner. But then I really had to get in the mud for the other two. When you see things that clearly, it gets too scary too quick. I don't know how you feeling about the board this week.
Yeah, it is funny when you see those ones that seem to jump off the page like they're so easy, and then it's almost like you inevitably end up second your guessing yourself a little bit because there's just no way, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I agree with what you said. It's football season's weird now. It used to be like this was the time of year right around Halloween when you really knew who teams were. And now it seems like you kind of need to get into November a little bit to really to get as good of a grip as possible. But you know, a lot of teams on bye last week, no one on bye this week. Theoretically, with more options, it should make things a little bit easier. But sometimes when there's that much to look at, your eyes get drawn a little all over the place.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think you made a very valid point with we're still figuring out who some of these teams are, man. They're it still feels like these teams aren't really they don't have their true identities yet, except with a few exceptions. So it is interesting, and I have heard some things on like radio and stuff. People complaining about the quality of the product as a whole in the NFL. I never would do that, but yeah, it really does feel like teams are still trying to figure out who they are. It's pretty wild. That being said, let's get into the picks. That's why the people are here. My first pick of the week, I'm going to go with the one that I thought was the easy one first. Um, it's good team versus bad team. It's a 7-point spread, which is a lot of points, but I think the Eagles go into Washington. I know it is a divisional game. I do know they lost to them last year for their first loss of the season, but I think good team versus bad team. They go in. They handled Miami last week. It shouldn't be a letdown spot because there is that hatred within that division. I think they go into Washington. They handle the Commanders. I think Ron Rivera is very much on the hot seat. That locker room, it it looks sketchy. They might end up trading some of these edge rushers here. They could very easily lose that locker room quickly here. I like Eagles -7 at Washington as my first pick.
I think you touched on it right there with kind of the in-house chaos, which is always tough to read. And who are we to talk
Right.
considering the team that we're a fan of? But yeah, obviously, I'm sure everyone saw the viral clip from Montez Sweat kind of really losing it. Or no, was that
It was
Montez Sweat or
Jonathan
was
Allen.
that
Jonathan Allen.
Jonathan Allen?
Yep.
Thank you, thank
Yep.
you, thank you. Don't want to be portrayed as CNN here. But yeah, they just they like you said, there's a lot of rumors flying around right now. I really hope Chase Young lands in Chicago. That's like top of mind for me, refreshing feeds, checking the news all the time to see if that trigger gets pulled. But I was on the Commanders when they took the Eagles to overtime. I think that game was in Philly, so it was closer to a 10-point spread, if memory serves me. Um, and like you said, they beat them last year. I just think that that game, is sometimes you might sleep on a team like the Commanders, but they just went to overtime with them. They just lost to the Jets. They had that good showing, maybe some questionable lack of officiating against the Eagles,
Yeah.
but I think they'll certainly be ready to play. So yeah, I got no qualms against that pick. I'm not on the Commanders this week, certainly. My first pick is gonna get I'm gonna get it out of the way. It's ugly. I don't love it, but feel like for some reason I just am getting pulled towards it. There was a team I liked a lot last year that I haven't touched so far this year, but I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers plus 3.5. Um, Texans, God bless them. They traded away their first round pick last year. They went all in, got CJ Stroud and Will Anderson with those back to back picks. I like what D'Amico Ryan's doing. There's nothing bad to say about what they got going on down in Houston. But I think Carolina gets right a little bit this week. Another team, kind of like, the Commanders, some rumors flying around if they're going to trade Burns or not. But I, uh, I think they get it done this week. I think they keep it tight. As good as the Texans have been, I'm still not all in on them. I think they, could lose a game any week in this league that is so full of parity. And I'll take the Panthers at home, getting three in the hook.
Yeah, that's a game that caught my eye a little bit too, and I like that same side that you like. The one thing that worries me at all is I think the Panthers are a little banged up on defense with some of their better players. But that being said, stylistically, the Panthers aren't that great against the run, but they're actually kind of decent against the pass. And what Houston wants to do is they want to throw the ball around with CJ Stroud. I like the Panthers, especially if they were a little closer to full strength. But I like where your head's at that with that pick for sure. My second pick of the week, um, we're gonna give it at -3, -106. I booked it at -2.5, -120. Um, let's stick with the -106. I don't like going -120 with it. I'm gonna go Jets at the New York Giants. Jets coming off a bye. Giants they get a win last week, beating the Washington Commanders. We know the Commanders aren't that great. Giants offense just really struggling. I think if they could protect the ball, run the ball, control the clock, they should have no problem really holding that Giants offense, holding them at bay. I like the Jets going in to the Meadowlands and getting this one against the Giants. Jets -3, -106. That's that pick.
A little bit of a revenge game for Tyrod Taylor, huh?
That's right.
Coming into town, take care of business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good pick. The Jets are solid. I'll be amazed if Aaron Rodgers actually somehow comes back this year, if they're able to make the playoffs. But I've been impressed by what that defense has been doing. And the Giants have had a little bit more juice lately with some good games and a nice win against the Commanders. But I'm still certainly not sold on them by any stretch. And I could see them scoring, maybe 10 points and the Jets sort of just squeaking it out. So yeah, that's you know, got nothing against that one either. I'm gonna turn to a lot of times in these situations, I feel like I go kind of against the grain. I see a pick that, I feel like maybe the public kind of looks like something easy, like it looks like a layup, and I like to go against those a lot of times. I like to use the term mob bet. Um, and I'm going to take the Vikings. They're -1.5 on the road at Green Bay. From what I see, I feel like it's a lot of, you know, savvy professional bettors, whatever. They'll probably tell you the Vikings or the Packers are a great play this week. But I just think the Vikings are good. They're always in tight games. I think they'll have a chance. Um, And I don't know. Packers, like I said before the season, wasn't sold on them. They blew out the Bears, who we know are just a bad football team. And I think people got a little bit too high on them, and they just kind of suck. I think there's a chance Alexander might not play either. I don't know. It maybe seems too easy, but I think the Vikings win that game by at least a field goal. So I'll lay the 1.5.
I thought about that side as well. Packers are reeling, man. They don't look great on offense. They look bad on offense. I think
Yeah.
Minnesota. I think they go to Green Bay, take care of business. I think they walk out of there with a relatively comfortable win. My last pick of the week. Cleveland defense has been awesome until last week. Part of that is the turnovers that both quarterbacks had, but on their side, PJ Walker, giving Colts some short fields, but the Colts were able to move the ball. I'm going to go with the over in that game. I'm going to go over 38, Seattle versus Cleveland. Cleveland's coming off back-to-back wins. I could see this as a little bit of a letdown spot for their defense. In theory, maybe you'd think they'd bounce back after a poor showing last week, but I think it might just be like a fatigue letdown spot going out to Seattle. I like the over in that game. It's 38 points. Kind of like what I talked about last week with the Bears game being over. Uh, you know, the two rookie quarterbacks going against each other with maybe some turnovers, some short fields, etc. PJ Walker is not a good quarterback. I could absolutely see the Seattle offense getting some short fields against that Cleveland defense, scoring some points. Over 38, that's my third pick of the week. Over 38, Seattle versus Cleveland.
It's it's fascinating that the Browns have won the games that they have with what PJ Walker has been doing, or maybe what he has not been doing back there,
Right.
because he's providing absolutely nothing. And they got helped out a little bit last week by the pinstripes out there, but they yeah, they're an interesting team to say the least. I don't know what the hell is going on with Deshaun Watson, but we're not here to debate that. I like the pick. You've been pretty spot on with your over unders, so I want to say you. I don't know if you like
last
mapped
week,
it out.
last week I picked two and I lost one of them.
Yeah, but I
But
think that might have been your first over under loss. Like I bet if you tracked it out for the year, you'd be like 4 or 5 and 1 on over unders or
I'll
something.
uh,
Pretty
I'll bring those
solid.
stats next week because I do track those. I don't have those stats ready, but I'll bring those stats next week.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So stick to Mike's over unders, baby. He's on it, fucking on it. My last pick, I really contemplated going away from this because I just don't want to do it. But I'm going to do something once again that I did it once earlier this year. I'm going to do it this week. I'll probably do it once again the rest of the season. I usually only do it 3 or 4 times the most, either on or against the Bears. I'm taking the Chargers minus 8.5. Uh, the Bears are just not good. Chargers are devalued right now because they haven't looked very good. The only thing that worries me about the line is Staley is maybe, for my money, the worst coach in the NFL. So that kind of concerns me. But I don't know, man. Tyson Bagent, God bless him. Awesome story. D2 quarterback making a start in the NFL, getting a W, had the team kind of vibing, juiced up. Everything was great about it, but you look at some of the advanced stats. I mean, he's in the first percentile, man. His EPA per play is at like 2 yards. He's not throwing the ball more than 2 yards down the field. It's just numbers that aren't sustainable at all. I think now that you have one game on tape of the way they used him, and that's not to say he can't do more. I just think I think his magic could run out very quickly. I hate to do it because it's a Sunday night game. I actually going to have some buddies in town. I know we'll be watching, and I'll be more than happy to go 2-0 early on in the day and catch a L Sunday night. That'd be just fine by me. But I just think the Chargers kill them. I think if this game is played 2 weeks ago, this line is at least 10.5 or 11. So I just think it's really good value. Honestly, I'll take the Chargers.
And you got it at 8.5. Is that correct?
8.5. Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, it hurts my heart to hear the pick, but I don't think it's a bad pick. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know if I'd necessarily say it's a great pick. I do think there's a chance the Bears will be able to run the ball. Maybe they could stay in it. Like you said, 8.5 is a big number for the Chargers, it seems like. But, I get where your head's at, and I wouldn't make too much of an argument. So, just to recap, my 3 picks of the week: Eagles -7 at Washington, Jets -3 at New York Giants, and the over 38 in the Seattle Seahawks versus Cleveland Browns game. Jack's 3 picks. He's on Carolina +3.5 at home versus the Houston Texans. He's on Minnesota -1.5 at Green Bay. Fuck the Packers. And lastly, he is on the Chargers -8.5 at home versus the Chicago Bears on Sunday Night Football. I will not be including that pick on my parlay, just for the record. But I will play the other 5. I can't do it. I can't go against the Bears because if that's my last leg on a parlay, I'm going to be very conflicted. I just want to root for the home team. But Jack, let's keep it rolling. Let's build on last week's 2-1 record for each of us, and let's stack those weeks, baby.
Stack them up, baby. Keep riding Big Mike. He's rolling, absolutely rolling, like Dante Culpepper, baby. Give it to him one time. Bears.
Bears.